Minakshi, or shall? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Namaste, Charlotte ji. Oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Saha Vidyam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Well, that's a lovely way to start.
Thank you, Raneji. So we will get started. It's back to you, Charlotte.
Well, how would you like to proceed? I'm here. My intention, my sankalp is to provide some value for any time you spend with me today on this beautiful Sunday. And you know, the one thing that I can offer is my experience in dealing with clients, at least in the Western world. Obviously, I'm a Westerner, and so are my clients, most of them. So some of the way I deliver whatever information I get is pretty straightforward. I mean, you know, we want to understand. The answer to the question is yes or no or maybe, but also some of it is, you know, some of being a consulting astrologer. That's what I'm hoping to offer is my experience as a consulting astrologer is, you know, it depends on the language that we use to interpret the language of the stars. And, you know, it's a good trick, as I say, to be able to translate such broad and beautiful knowledge, the knowledge that's offered to us from the constellations, from the stars and the planets and all the moving objects out there, comets and everything else. It's amazing to be able to translate that into useful information for people that, again, that they can use to improve their life. So that's what I'm hoping to provide, just a little bit of information. So here's what I'm thinking, to the degree that I'm thinking about anything, is that how are we going to pick? I mean, who wants me to look at their chart briefly? Should we look at your birth chart, Meenakshi?
Yes, Charlotte, I can give you my birth chart and we can discuss.
Well, is that presumptuous? Or I mean, you know, that's a delicate question. Here's all these people, and we want to say
Astrology, can I propose something?
Yes,
maybe
please.
A little bit too radical.
Please.
I'm trying to start a business.
Okay.
And we just founded the company about 2 weeks back.
Okay.
Would you like to make a chart of the company?
Yes, I'll make a prashna for that right now. But first of all, let me back you right up and counsel something. Dear, you are not trying to form a company. You're in the process of forming the company. So
yes,
remember,
yes.
Your words are powerful, right?
Okay.
All right, so how am I going to do that then? Oh, Lord. Are you seeing my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, well, maybe you won't. We don't know about that. But hang in there, dear. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. Hang on. Let's see what we come up with here. So I'm using Parashara's light. I'm using the South Indian version of the chart, just so you know what I'm doing here. Well, this is really quite a... Pardon?
Yeah. There is one more volunteer we have in the background, Satyaji. He has given
Maybe
his,
we should do that. Yeah.
Okay, no. We want to do, no, please. We'll look at his next, if that's okay with you.
Yes, Charlotte.
I've lost your faces, but in terms of addressing Saurabhji's question. So here in Phoenix, this birth chart has 12 degrees of Shravana rising. Pluto's on
See
one.
your chart.
I know. I don't know how to do that. How would I get that?
The screen.
there is a way called Control S to share this.
So at the bottom of your Zoom window, Sharaji,
I
you
can't
should see you can see a green button. At the bottom of the Zoom window, do you
Oh,
see
here
a
we are.
green?
Well, I just found the Zoom meeting again. Share screen.
Okay.
Yay.
Yes, yes, there you go.
What? This is my screen? Ah. What? Okay, maybe it's this one. Yes. Can you see this South Indian chart?
Yes.
It's a miracle. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so look at that. Okay, again, this is from my perspective. This is from when I understand your sincere question in my location. And Jupiter is just about to change signs. Jupiter's in the first house. Can you see this over here? Oh, also, you know I use glyphs of the planets. I think that's important for you to know these. Here's Pluto. Can you see my cursor? There's Pluto.
Yeah.
There's Pluto. Very powerful and impactful, influential, can be really indicate a large impact on whatever you're trying to do. Pluto's the planet of power and birth and death and regeneration. So you could have a lot of backing for this. Saturn is also here. So that's just too bad. You have to deal with Saturn here. I say that in the most loving way. But the gift of Saturn is for you to immediately recognize what's not going to work or what's superfluous or, some other foundational matter. That's the gift of Saturn, to define what is too much. There's too much embellishment. And you have Jupiter's in the first house here. Now, you know that Jupiter remedies all blemishes. And although Jupiter's at the very dregs of Capricorn, as I said previously, the support for your idea should come fairly soon. Yep.
That sounds very promising. It's a healthcare startup, so I'm glad that.
Okay, but listen, watch out for money matters here too. Neptune is in the second house. See this over here? This is Neptune. This says there's some ambiguity or ambivalence about money or the division of profits or whatever. Be very clear about the financial issues. Right? Okay. The eclipse will occur in the 11th and the 5th. What is it? Yeah. Well, let's see what else is here. Look at this. The Sun, Mars, and Mercury in the 10th house down here. That's excellent for being a visible and viable presence, right? You have a clear sense of what you're going to do, of your karma, of your dharma. There's a karma dharma yoga here. The 9th house lord is in the 10th house of the name, the game, and the fame that you're asking about, the startup company. Yeah, you're looking good.
Okay.
Is that the type of answer you were thinking you?
Yeah, what else can I ask for? As long as, the answer is that, yeah, go ahead, try it out. That's what I.
No, you're not trying it out. I want to be clear about this. And again, Saturn's in the first house. I can see that. I mean, does this is your intention in starting this business to be quite high-minded or have some very broad impact, or what
yes, very broad impact. Yes.
Well, it's set up for that. Here's what this says, though. The Saturn and Jupiter are together. This says through your own belief in your own abilities, that's how you get. That is the key factor here. For about the next 10 days or something, right? We have the planet of fear in the same planet as we have of faith. So, right? Saturn's the planet of fear. Jupiter's the planet of faith. Jupiter's overcoming the fear factor. So with your intelligence and your spiritual practice, your clear vision for what you want to have happen, this is the type of thing where you could become famous. That's a relative term. But look, the Sun and Mars down here are in the 10th house. It's really quite nice.
Okay.
And it could be very successful in foreign countries. The 10th house lord, the house of your object, your object, your goal is in the 12th house. So, that means far-ranging influence.
That sounds good.
So pray for yourself. I'll pray for your success, and
Thank you.
manage your thoughts here. You're not trying to do anything, right?
Yes, we are doing it.
You're already successful.
Yes.
Try
No, thanks
that
for that
and
correction. Yeah,
try
thanks for that.
That's because, Neptune is a very delicate planet. It's in the house of the spoken word over here,
Mhm.
which just happens to be one of the major houses of money. Money
Yes.
equals words. You have powerful words. So there you go. So are you okay?
Okay.
Are you okay with that? Let me know.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Know what
Yeah.
happens.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I will keep in touch on that.
Okay. I love it. All right.
Thank you.
So thank you. Okay. So does someone else want to ask me something?
You're muted, Meenakshi. Meenakshi ji, you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, Satyaji. I got muted by mistake. So
Did I
Charlotte, we have, yeah, Satyaji's, Satyaji, do you like to put your email, the birth detail once again?
Sure.
Yeah,
Was it-
actually in the chat, it's showing up.
July 10th,
Okay.
1958.
Hang on. July 10, 1958.
4:44 a.m. New Delhi.
Okay. What is your first name, sir?
S. Satya Bandhu Arya.
What's your first name?
Satya, Satya.
Oh, I love it. Well, okay. Excuse me for being informal. Here we are.
That's
July 7,
you.
1958, 4:44 in the morning in New Delhi.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you with the sun in the first house. How nice. And may I see your picture, please?
Sure.
Just for fun?
Hmm.
Oh, I like your
Oh.
books.
Oh,
Jim.
pleasure.
Gemini rising with the Gemini sun and all these books behind you. Mercury conjunct Uranus. That's interesting. Ooh, Jupiter in the 4th house. Congratulations.
Charlotte, just wanted to add one thing. Somebody has requested, is that a possibility of having also a North Indian chart?
Yeah, I knew somebody was going to ask me that. Well, let me teach you something here.
Sure.
I'm sort of hesitant to do that because I might not be able to figure out how to undo it.
Okay,
Well,
not a
let me
problem.
let me touch it. Okay, so for the, as I call them, so for the North Indian chart person, in this chart, this is the first house in Gemini. This corner is always Gemini. So this is what I'm looking at. The sun in the first house, Mercury, Uranus, and this is the second house. Can you read that tiny script there?
Yes, we can.
Third house. And again, I can't apologize for using the glyphs, but this is something for you to know. Here's the sun, the circle of completion with the dot in the middle. Mercury, messenger of the gods. Here's Uranus. It's like a TV antenna. Pluto, it's a cauldron where something's being boiled down. Here's Jupiter. I don't know how to explain that. Neptune looks like a harpoon. Here's Saturn. You can barely see that. You have Saturn in Scorpio. I don't know about that as a choice, Satya, sir, but there you go. So what is your, but I love this. Mars and Pisces in the 10th house. And again, congratulations. Moon in the 11th. I'm not sure about being conjunct K2, but
Yeah, that is the thing.
so that's interesting. Well, what may I offer? I'm humbly asking.
My humble question is that how is my Jupiter dasha looks like?
Well, let's see.
It's
7,000
Kendra
dollars,
Vipati Dosh.
10,000. I know, I don't know about that. Again, I'm here to offer what I've found, but
Yeah.
again, I have Mercury in Pisces, so take it from there. But I don't know about that Kendra dosha. I'm not sure about that. Excuse my accent. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. My suggestion is to look at the fact that you're, for the first time in your life, sir, going to enter the period of the Lord of your 10th house. So the question is, what are you going to do to solidify your reputation, really serve humanity, if that's what a 10th house meaning, really refine your name, your game, and your fame. Yep. You can only focus on the positive. I mean, we know that there's other stuff there. You're probably saying, yes, Jupiter's my 7th house Lord. Well, I don't know. This says that you could really collaborate with the general public in some way too, right? Transactional business, there should be more of that. If you have something to teach, you could do that, right? It's Jupiter, after all. Figure out how much wealth you can attract in order to give it away to charity, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got that beautiful Venus in Taurus in your 12th house. So I'm assuming you have a regular spiritual practice. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
That's what I would think. So, but if I may offer, well, did you have a specific question about your Jupiter Mahadasha?
Just my old age, starting, so health issues and monetary issues.
Okay,
Altogether.
so are you, again, Jupiter's involved. So this could be, or it will be involved, or it could be involved in the future. You don't have a burning question, but wealth, yes, let's say that you are wealthy. Remind yourself that you are a wealthy man. I can see that from your chart. You have Jupiter in the 4th house.
Right.
And think of yourself that way, if you don't mind me.
No, you're right.
I am, in this case, I am. Yeah. I mean, I think what the heck? You have nothing to lose by assuming that. I'm not saying spend your money like a drunken sailor, as my father would say. He was in the Navy. But so you have the direct opposition from Mars. This is really quite specific.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Boom, same degree. So
Same degree. Yeah.
are you a gambler?
No, never gamble.
Yeah, I kind of didn't. There's something of that though. Did you used to be a real dedicated athlete of some sort? Not on a
thing, but gym. Yes, I trade in stocks and do that on a regular. I did that on a regular basis, but never gamble.
But you're a gambler if you're trading stocks. Come on. But I think
quite a lot.
Did you come out ahead on that?
Sometimes good, sometimes not good.
Okay. So that depends on the timing, I suppose.
Right.
Okay, so let's see about this. So Jupiter will be in your 9th house. Are you still trading stocks? Jupiter will be transiting through your 9th house.
Yeah, I'm still in stocks.
Fairly soon. But let me see your original question. Oh, and your health. Okay, back to exercise. Are you getting enough exercise? You need to keep your liver stimulated. Probably need more of the bitter taste in your diet. Right?
Oh yeah.
Can you do that?
Health is not doing great.
Well, all right. So what about that Saturn in your 6th house in Scorpio?
Yeah, I guess it's more Mars aspecting the 3rd lord, causing lung trouble, 4th house, causing heart trouble. And 5th house also is aspecting everything,
Yeah, it is. Okay, so what can you do about this? Did you say respiratory? Did you say respiratory problems?
Yeah, recently, just a couple of weeks ago, I just got diagnosed with respiratory problem.
Do you still live in Delhi or New Delhi?
No, I'm in Delaware.
You're in Delaware. You've gone from Delhi to Delaware?
Right.
I love it. From Delhi to Delaware. I hope somebody's taking note of this. Okay, so your Gemini rising, you already know that. Are you doing your pranayama regularly?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right, so Jupiter in the 4th house. Are you doing your yoga? Are you doing what you're supposed to do to take care of yourself? Do you have a broken heart? Are you married? Is your wife taking care of you? Do you have kids?
Yes. Yes.
Yes to all of
Thankfully.
those?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, that's important for you.
Jupiter is Vargottama and so is Mars.
Oh, you know, I can't even see the rest of my Navamsha because of this. Okay, that's good to know. What did you, well, I can't even see the Shadbala reports here, but, well, okay, so let me figure this out. Respiratory issues. You're saying you have circulation issues?
I had heart problems too.
Well, are we looking at Jupiter in the 4th house, the 4th house lord with Uranus? Now, this is where I would take a close look at the influence of these outer planets. I was talking about this last night. This is an outer planet. This is the planet Uranus. This is the planet of anomalies, electrical issues. This Uranus has to do with your nervous system. And in this case, it's, I don't quite understand this in terms of, are you angry about something?
No.
Or is that a fact?
I'm not angry about anything. I'm quite at peace with myself.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good for you. You know what? That's the highest blessing you can have, right? Is that you are content. You are at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
Thanks,
that's
Lord. I mean, God has given me a little, peace and happiness.
Well, excellent. And you've co-created that yourself. I know it probably seems to you like I'm dodging some kind of question, but I mean, you've given the conclusion that your health, no matter what it is, I can't get that it's that difficult, dear. I think I think that you can do something on your own about your condition, and that it will improve, and that it will improve over time.
Someone has asked in the chat if you have arrhythmias of the heart. That was Ronald who asked it.
I had it.
Yes, that's the Uranus conjunct the Lord of the 4th house. Arrhythmias, there's some kind of misfiring or in your in your nervous system, your electrical, the timing. Yes, exactly. Right. Your chat person is correct.
I am on medication for that too.
All right. So now these 2 planets fall in the house of the 2nd house of food or anything that you ingest. So is this medication? Are you saying that this is solving the issue?
Well, it's taking care of arrhythmias like blood thinners, in case you have arrhythmias, they give you blood thinners.
Okay. Well, so are you eating properly? I mean, I say that with all due respect. I mean, you know about the Ayurvedic food combining and, delicate things like that. That's important for you too, I think.
I do not really know a lot about that.
Well, you have to be careful what you take when you're also taking prescription medications. I mean, you eat. But I'm sure your wife is taking good care of you on that level. I'm just offering.
I'm not a big eater. I only eat once in a day. I'm not a big time eater.
Okay, good for you. Well,
not focused on food, no.
But money, aren't you? Not to change this subject abruptly, but abruptly changing the subject. So it looks to me like, so you've got your chart lord in the 2nd house. You know how to accumulate material wealth, right? We've already covered that.
I'm not after that too now. Just enough for myself and my family. That is it.
Well, as my father used to say, enough is as good as a feast. But seriously, I think you're prone to, let me see, what's happening next? Jupiter will be in your 9th house. I think you're going to do well on your stock trading, especially between the end of this month and the end of next April, in a
Okay.
general way. Are you still working at something where you have roles and responsibilities?
No, I do not have a responsibility except to care for my wife. That is all.
Well, that's a big responsibility. You're doing that
No.
well, I hope.
Yeah, I hope I'm doing well.
Take care of your little lady. Well, all right.
Yeah.
So my question to you could be, in terms of wealth, how can you take the best advantage of having Jupiter crossing over your Mars in the 10th house? Through your own efforts, how could you prosper in a certain way? Mars is your 11th house lord. So
Right.
Jupiter will be crossing over that. There may be some
Yeah.
kind of side venture that you could conjure up that could bring some income, right?
Okay.
Within the
Okay.
next, within
Mars is the 6th lord as well. What I'm worried a little bit is that when in Dasha of Rahu Mars, because it is aspecting the Lagna ascendant,
yeah.
it may give you paralysis. I am just thinking.
Don't think like that. Don't
Okay.
think about those things.
All
I mean,
right.
would you stop that? Listen, the future is fluid. There are so many
Mhm.
positive possibilities with that particular combination. What?
Okay.
No. And your mind, thoughts are things. You attract things through consciousness. Scott, Scott, you're
We can't
unmuted.
hear you, Scott.
Here, I think I could ask. There we go. Anyway, well, I hope you're taking what I'm offering. Just I know this is a little potpourri of ideas, but the most, you're a Gemini rising. Your sun is in Gemini as
Right.
well. Okay, so your thoughts. I mean, I'm sure you have plenty of very interesting thoughts, and they may have taken you far down the road. But choose your thoughts wisely. Don't be thinking about negative things that haven't even happened. I'm serious.
Okay.
Watch your words. You have these planets in the 2nd house of the spoken word. You can just as easily, what? I mean, please say out loud to yourself that you're healthy, wealthy, and wise, or whatever you'd like to say. I think there's a real opportunity when Jupiter crosses over your Mars. Those planets are very entrepreneurial. You'll have plenty of get up and go, and don't be misled by thinking that you're getting old.
Okay.
Please. That's not a helpful idea.
All right. Thank
You,
you.
yeah. I mean, because
Thank you.
you've got the moon conjunct Ketu. God
Right.
bless you, dear. That is,
Thank
I
you.
didn't even touch that one. I don't want to
Yeah.
be,
Almost at the same degree,
yeah. Well, so are you some type of a healer? Are you a therapist? Your moon is
I
in
was a
Arsha.
therapist. I was trained as a therapist, but for 25 years, I'm not in the working in that field.
Okay, but wait a second. What kind of therapist were you?
I was trained as occupational therapist.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, that fits your moon perfectly, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm not working as a therapist since 96.
well, you still have it in you. That's still there, Satya. That instinct is still in you. How can you use that in some way? Are
All right.
you disabled in some way, Satya?
Yes, I am.
I see. All right. Well, you're smart enough to work your way around that. And in a relative way, watch your thoughts. And, the sun is very powerful. It's where it is, for good or for ill. Don't burn yourself up, right?
All right. All right.
Music is a great therapy for you, Satya.
Yes, music. I love music. I am always, playing the music at all the time.
Yeah, I see that. That's good for you. And of course, mantras.
Yeah.
Chanting them for yourself, not just listening to them, but chanting them.
Yeah, that helps me all the time.
Okay, good. Well, I'll send you a prayer, Satya. It was nice to be able to talk with you about your chart. Are you okay with what we've done here today?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Yay.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. Happy to help if it did. All right.
Yeah, Charlotte. So we have another volunteer.
Okay. Who's this?
His name is Nikhil, and Nikhil birth detail is Nikhil. You can even unmute yourself. So Nikhil is 14th October 1987, 8:41 p.m. Bangalore, India. Bangalore.
Okay.
And Nikhil, do you want to switch on your video?
Yes, thanks. Can you see me?
Oh, I misspelled your name, but hi,
No, that's-
Nikhil.
Hi.
Hey, hey is for horses. I'm an old lady. You can't say hey to me.
No, I
But-
said hi. Hi.
Oh,
Anyway,
oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. All right, dear. Well, let me just think about this for a minute. So you have Saturn in Scorpio too, conjunct in your first house with Uranus. Well, that's an interesting idea. You have Neptune in the second, North Node in the fifth, Jupiter in the sixth. All right. Moon is in the eighth house in Ardra. Okay. But lovely Sun Mars conjunction in the 11th, Venus and Pluto together. Well, Nikhil, what may I do for you, sir?
yeah, I was just curious to see what you thought about my upcoming change in Dasha. I'm probably at the end of Saturn right now, and slated to move to Mercury a couple of years later.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, like from a general perspective, do you see, changes, say either in my life path or my career, that you
Well,
could see?
of course, because there will be a change in your own consciousness. So you want to be on the lookout for that thing. It depends, again, everything depends on your consciousness. I have to say, dear, if you don't mind me intruding, I meant to offer this this idea, excuse me, too, to Satya, is that you're still in your Saturn Mahadasha. You're still there. What happens at the beginning of your Mercury Mahadasha is really somewhat dependent on what you're doing today, this very moment, right? Especially since you might be coming up into your Dasha Chidra. Isn't that, that concept where things can start to unravel? Yes, it's good to have the vision for you to hang your hat on for what the improvement will be. So let's go in that direction. But I do remind you to
Sure, that's helpful.
continue to focus on your third house lord, fourth house lord, second house lord, fifth house lord. Is that a little kid? How cute.
Yeah, I'm sorry, he's just in the background.
Oh no, I love it. That's a great nimitta, right?
Yeah.
That's a great omen to hear a little happy child. So, all right, so you're taking care of family issues. You're still working on your foundation. You're solidifying things. You're figuring out how to be skillful and how to actually do things. And that's the third house lord and the fourth house lord. Your Saturn's in your first house. You're innately connected with the principles of Saturn because Saturn was there at your birth. Saturn's your godfather here. So you're already able to do the right thing, deferred gratification. You're able to, think about the integrity of the long range plans and things like that. I mean, is that true about you? Are you quite a Saturnian person?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, not only that, but yeah, I mean, that's
Largely Saturnian, I agree.
And then it's nice that, okay, where were we going with this? Oh, yeah, okay, so what loose ends do you still need to tie up? What debts do you need to pay? What do you need to learn how to do to be a better account for the passage of time in a better way? I mean, and again, none of that is judgmental. It's just conceptual. finishing up with Saturn. Do you have a health related issue or an appearance related issue or a personality related issue that you still need to refine? You know, the Saturn when you were born is in the first house of your physical body and your presence.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think that's a constant theme in my life. Continuing to work on myself and, you know, improve my personality.
Well, did that seem like a frivolous comment?
No, absolutely not. It kind of really resonated.
Well, I mean, I'm just tying it in with where Saturn was when you were born. You're quite a Saturnian person.
Yes.
In a certain way, you know, you're at the end of your Saturn dasha, planet that was there at birth. So it's interesting what, I mean, these are serious matters. You might not be having that much fun. I mean, but that's irrelevant. You're you have a young family and so, you know, if I have to say, I have to just offer, you're not often subject to feelings of guilt, are you, Michiel? That could be associated with Saturn.
Yeah, I definitely have self-esteem issues, I think. No doubt.
You felt what, dear?
Self-esteem issues?
Well, is that associated with guilt? Self-esteem. Yeah, okay, Saturn's in your first house. Yeah. Well, the good thing is, dear, self-confidence issues or self-assurance issues, that because you have Saturn in the first house and Saturn improves over time. You know, the Saturn rewards hard work. You'll have gravitas. You have gravitas. You know that word?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing to have. It'll kick in when you're older, but are you talking, this is a temporary situation? Pluto, Mercury. Well, you take things very seriously, don't you? Here's where I get this, Michiel.
Yes.
So down here, okay, here's your Mercury. So, oh, I see. You already know a lot about astrology, right?
I mean, I don't know if I know a lot, but yeah, I have been studying for the past, 5 years. Yeah.
For 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a talent for this. I can see this now that I'm looking at it this way. Okay, so where was he going? Oh, so I was saying that you might psychologically that you might have a propensity for easily taking offense or things are too serious and too serious. I know that sounds judgmental, but
no, it's very accurate. Yeah.
Because here's Mercury down here in your 12th house, and maybe you don't use that. Maybe you don't account for the use of the outer planets. But here's Pluto, right here at 15 degrees. Your Mercury's at 19 degrees. Pluto's 15 degrees. That's a serious issue. This says you can actually figure out anything. You can see through lead walls. You're a great researcher, digger, scientist, detective. You're a great metaphysician, right? You have an ability to turn base metal into gold. That goes along with your moon in the 8th house too. Here's an idea for you, dear. Remember that you can choose not to be offended. You can choose not to be offended. You can choose to not be compulsive about things. You can choose to not give your power away. Here's Venus in its own sign. Yay, that's beautiful. Are you doing something creative, dear?
I mean, so I have like multiple interests, but I think overall I'm hugely interested in music and I have a spiritual practice as well. Yeah.
You have what?
A spiritual practice as well. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I see that. Yes. Congratulations. I mean, good. You know, so yes, but that artistic bit of you, it does need some, you know, you're not wasting your time, dear, when you're involving yourself in creating something beautiful, like through music. I see that's important to you because you've got Venus in Libra in the 12th house. It's a simple idea. That could improve your life subjectively. Maybe you could form a band with your kids. Well, I think, but to carve back around to your actual question, what will happen when you get into your Mercury Mahadasha? I think you will figure out how to use the abundant resources around you. We're going to immediately turn Mercury, the Lord of your 8th house. This is the 8th house up here in your chart. This is the house of other people's power too. And this is the house of developing your metaphysical abilities, which are quite remarkable. And do you have any intention of one fine day being a professional consulting astrologer?
I mean, it's there at the back of my mind, but I guess I still don't have the confidence to.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, keep studying. One day, one fine day, I think this says you're a great metaphysician. You have the moon in the 8th house. It's a bright enough moon. But Ardra, do you relate to having your moon in Ardra?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you figure out how to do. I mean, I don't know what I'm smooth,
I've
smooth
figured
the choppy waters there. Smooth the choppy waters. God bless you. But but I do have to say one final thing about your chart here. That yes, everybody is relieved when they're through their Saturn Mahadasha. Maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too much information. But as a concept, yes, it will be better. How much better? Oh, I'd say maybe 35, 40% better. What do we define by better? I don't know. You've evolved more in a different way. You can think. The thing about Mercury, is that you learn how to use your thoughts. You learn how to think correctly, right?
Yeah.
Not by anybody else's standard, but your own.
Sure, that makes sense.
So,
Charlotte,
yes.
Charlotte, Simon has mentioned that the Mercury is his yogi. So he said the Mercury is your yogi, Nikhilji.
Yeah, thanks, Simon G, for that. I mean,
His yogi planet.
yeah.
Is
And I guess
Simon-
Simon G has a huge influence on me, and I hope that all his suggestions.
Well, you're
kick in
in
the yoga
good.
stuff.
Oh, honey, good. I'm happy to hear that. You're in good hands. As Simon G mentioned, I mean, you've got the. Okay, I said a while ago. I said you have the power. You have the moon in the 8th house. You have the power to turn base metal into gold. You do, and you've got a lot of courage. You have a Sun-Mars conjunction. Come on, use that too. And I know you're going to say, "Oh, my Mars is conjunct K2." Yes, I see that. Yeah, I get that. That's an issue. You'll have to figure that out. Are you a martial artist in some way? Could you do that kind of thing?
I was hugely athletic while growing up, but now
Yeah.
not. I mean, I've got some spine issues, so it's all gone.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever you can do along those lines in some way, I say you still got it in you. So.
Mm.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Well, gosh, you're welcome. Good luck. Good luck to you, dear. Let me know what happens.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Good.
So-
Simon says he'd like to give you a reading. Sorry, I don't know if you were going to say that. I mean, actually.
Yes, I
saw
would
that.
love to
think
give.
it's Nadia.
Yeah, I
I'd
think
love to
it's
have her.
Nadia there. So
Yeah.
it's just said that it's me. Simon has
I'll
just
get in
went
touch
out.
with you.
Oh,
Nadia.
it's not Simon. It's Simon's partner.
Yes, Nadia.
Yes.
So Charlotte, we have another volunteer, and her details are. Give me a quick minute. Here I am. Yes, her name is Veera, and her details is 30th November 1982, 8:35 a.m. Sikandrabad, India.
Yeah, sorry, this is male. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
Veera. Yeah, yes, we can hear you. And
Yeah.
if you will switch on your video, we will pin your video.
Yeah, I'm a male.
Sure. Sorry about that. Charlotte, it's a male, not a female. Seeing the name Veera, I said it's.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so oh Lord, but I don't know the city in.
No,
India.
Sikandrabad in Andhra Pradesh.
You can say SECU.
Hang on. Oh bloody hell. Okay, excuse me. Hang
You
on.
can just write the state. State as Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
And Sikandrabad is the city.
Is which is Sagund something?
SECUN DERABAD. No, it's BAD. Bad. Yes.
Let's see what we come up
And
with.
gender male.
I don't even pay attention to that because we're the planets are androgynous at this stage. Okay, so but your name is Vera. It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah,
dear.
V-E-R-A.
That's okay. I mean, are you okay with? Let's see. I'm trying to get back to. May I see your face, please? So
Okay.
November
He's
7th,
there.
1982, 8:35. I can't. Let's see. Hang on a bit. Oh dear. La, 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 just one moment, please. Oh, there you are.
Thanks. Namaste.
Namaste. Well, I love your chart. Your face is perfect for your chart with that Mars in Sagittarius, with K2 and Neptune. Okay. That's an interesting combination. I'll get back to that. First house Lord is in the 12th with everybody else. I'm just thinking out loud so you can, this is what I would do for a client too. I'd go through the same process. I'm just speeding it up. But so you're also an accomplished Jyotishi, I see. Is that correct, Vera?
No, I'm just starting in, but like I just know little bit pieces, but not practicing.
Well, you know, you've got quite a you've got quite of a spiritually oriented chart here, both with these two planets rising. But Mars in the first house, congratulations. Fifth house Lord in the first. The Lord of here's the fifth house for the, again, in your chart, the fifth house Lord is Mars, because your Sagittarius rising, that's pretty straightforward. Also the 12th house Lord. Okay, we get that. So in your 12th house, Jupiter, Uranus, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. Wow. All aspected by a very bright moon, a bright exalted moon. Oh, this is pretty nice. Yeah. Huh. Did you actually have a question or?
Yeah, mostly like I'm interested in my career. Like I have like a lot of good academic credentials, but I'm not well established in IT. So I would like to know like what would be my career like when I will get a new job, or like what will I be in the IT field, or will I do some business, or?
Well, gosh, you could do almost anything you want to do, dear. So are you in, where do you live, if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA.
You're in North Carolina? Well, that's a nice place to be.
Yeah, close to Charlotte.
Yeah, that must be a nice place. No, that's a nice part of the country to be in the East. Well, there's so many things I have to look at here, so hang on a bit. All right, so the nodes will move from your 6th and your 12th. That will improve things in your working conditions. This will happen. This will be in the 3rd week in March. I'm just thinking out loud because the nodes will leave your 12th and your 6th house. I think that'll be beneficial for you. They'll get into the part of the chart that says that you could, this could suggest though after the spring that you could your earned income could be from a source different than what it is now. Because again, K2 will be in the 11th house, money earned through your career, right? But wait a second, I got ahead of myself. You're in your Jupiter Mahadasha. First house Lord. Oh, well. So did something shift in your life significantly at the end of last summer? June,
No.
July, August, September, in that range, when you entered a new Mahadasha?
Nothing, like same as usual. Like I've been having some personal relationship issues, but Other than that, like career wise, everything is same.
Okay, so you're in the IT field now is what you just told me?
Yes.
Well, that works for your chart, but I mean, you have a lot of options here. Okay, so, all right, your 10th house lord is Mercury. Your Mercury is over here in the 12th house, saying that obviously you could be successful in your career abroad. I mean, it's a simple idea. Your Mercury, the lord of your 10th house, is with Venus. I mean, you have a whole host of options here in terms of what you do in your career. I want to remind you of that. So your chart, your 10th house lord is with Venus. If there could be some creativity or some design or some aesthetics or something, I mean, just generally creative about it, that would be good. Venus is the lord of your 6th house. This could also be associated with any kind of health, healing, therapy, medicine, anything to do with the healing field. It's your 11th house lord too, which is associated with managing money per se, maybe for large groups of people. That's a possibility. Then your 10th house lord is conjunct, the 9th house lord. God, good for you. So here's another one of these karma dharma yoga situations. The 9th house lord is with the 10th lord. Congratulations. Let's focus on that, right? How much do you know about that combination?
So what is that? I don't know.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so the 9th house lord is the 9th house is the house of the grace of God. That's my wording, but it has to do with good fortune, good timing, good decisions. The being searching for truth through your guru, right? I mean, it's a lovely thing to have. So I mean, it says that there's some kind of nice past life purva punya here. Yeah, you have a lot of that. Okay, the lord of the 10th house. Oh, the 9th house lord.
So you're saying like I can be like an astrologer?
Yes, you could, right, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because you are, okay, so I think you're not harnessing the power of your creative imagination or your spiritual abilities or your tapas or whatever you want to call it. I mean, that doesn't sound too outlandish to you, does it? I think that you can really develop your spiritual abilities in order to be able in order to be at peace with yourself and your family and to help other people as a well-paid consultant in Jyotish. One fine day, I don't mean,
Yeah.
please start slow, but you've got that ability. But a lot of your abilities, but this is a bit of an Achilles heel to have the South Node, to have K2 in the 1st house. Have you been looking, do you know about K2 in the 1st house? I mean, about your own, do you know your own chart at all?
No, I know the placements, but not what it means. And
okay, so this planet is associated with the astral plane, literally. However you define that. We could define that as the quantum universe or just some other pre-conscious influence. So this says that you yourself, Vera, have to be very, very conscious of who you are so that you can convey that to other people. Because typically this means that you could be not seen or misunderstood or misrepresented or inadvertently presenting something that other people just can't understand somehow. Again, somehow. It's not a judgment, it's just a thing.
yeah, like somehow like people can't understand me well. Like I'm in a different plane and they are in a different plane. So
yeah, you'll probably get a lot of that. So that's okay. You must keep, I mean, this is inherent in your life. But it's just one of many factors. That's just one of many factors, dear. This can also say you can be very charismatic in a certain way. I mean, take this upon yourself. Whatever you need to project at any given moment, you can do that. But and you have Neptune in the 1st house too. So in terms of self-confidence issues, this is classic. Here's Neptune, the planet of subtlety, the invisible world, the spiritual realm, the divine. It's like it's associated with the 12th house. It also has to do with these things. You'll be the one to define who you are so that other people can relate to you properly. I know there's a really broad idea, but there you go. However, on a completely different note, you have Mars in the 1st house. So you're perfectly named, Vera, for having Mars in the first house, because that has to do with strength and presence and, blood, guts, glory, testosterone, adrenaline, sharp tools and weapons, being able to make your way. You can make that choice. It's your fifth house lord, which means past, a lot of past life credit. The fifth house is the house of Purva Punya. I just like to say that because it's so alliterative. Purva Punya, past life credit. You've got you have access to that in this lifetime too.
Oh, thank you.
Right? I mean, no. So yes, develop that into, I don't know how you do that, either through some kind of advanced meditation techniques or yoga, really consistent things, some kind of tapas of whatever sort, fasting, chanting, praying, mantras. Mantras, I hope you have a nice mantra, dear. The fifth house is the house of mantras. I think that's a very useful idea. Fifth house is the house of mantras. It's in your all important first house of who you are. So that fortune is embodied in the sound of mantras.
Okay.
Right? You already know this, right?
Oh.
Oh, well, all right. So I'm going to give you the spelling for a website that I highly recommend for everybody. Write this down. It's G-A-I-E-A Sanskrit. G-A-I-E-A Sanskrit. It's a beautiful British woman. She has a PhD in Sanskrit from Oxford. And just pick a mantra that you like, but pick a mantra, something, for you, Mars. Maybe, do you know the Hanuman mantra?
No.
Okay. So Vera is another name for Hanuman because he was the fierce warrior.
Oh, Hanuman? Lord
Hanuman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. I was beginning to wonder about you, dear. Okay, so.
Yeah, I was born on Tuesday also.
I see. Well, you're pretty proud of your Mars, aren't you? Now that we talk about that. Well, good. Listen, you have abilities in both worlds. In the material world, you got Mars in the first house. You can hack your way through the jungle of life. You've got that ability. You've got so much packed into your 12th house. You also have you'll be able to understand the quantum universe and how thoughts work and how the ether and the Akashic fields work on your behalf.
Oh.
That's so let me know how you do. It was a pleasure to
So one more question. Yeah, how my Jupiter Dasha would be like? It just started.
Oh, that's right. We just started talking about that. Okay, your Jupiter, your Lagnapati, you're the ruler of your chart, your special planet. You are just now being able to express who you really are, your interest, your abilities, your focus, where you put your time and attention, also your personality, your presence. It can get you more involved. That could be a bit of an anchor point for you, counterintuitively speaking, because you're entering for the first time in your life the period of your chart lord, if your time of birth is right. Yeah. That's excellent. Then is your fourth house lord too. And so this says that you establish security and comfort. That's the fourth house, right? Can resolve some family issues, of whatever sort. I'm not saying you have family issues, but it's the fourth house having to do with those kinds of things. You'll be able to take your proper place in the family, or whatever that means, right? Mm-hmm. Does any of this track with you?
Yes.
Granted, it's just begun, but I think that's the theme. And then you have to also go back to look at your Jupiter and the 12th house of, again, developing your spirituality. That's not religious and it's not metaphysical. It's involvement with the spirit world. Your Jupiter, you have my favorite combination of planets, Vera. You have Jupiter conjunct Uranus. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm just looking at a chart. I'm looking at a map of the sky on November 30th, 1982. So yes, you have the benefit of having a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That's just interesting. That's interesting. You won't be bored with this. But Uranus is also the planet of the internet and electricity and anything that you're already doing. These are my crude old lady terms, but there you go. And it's conjunct the sun, your 9th house lord, and it is the sun after all. There's more prominence, right? Your partner will do better. Mercury is the lord of your 10th house. Oh yeah, now this really develops consonance between who you are and what you do in your career, right? Here's how I got that. Mercury, your Jupiter, okay, you're entering your Jupiter period over here in Scorpio. It's also conjunct Mercury in here, in this cluster, in this constellation. Mercury is the lord of your 10th house. This is Virgo. This area of the chart is always Virgo in these natal charts. So what I just said was, I don't know, you're looking up here. I have great expectations for you, young man.
Thank you.
I'm serious.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, Guy, you're welcome. Let me know how you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Charlotte, we have many more volunteers in the background. They're really loving your rapid consultation.
Oh, okay, good. I'm happy. I'm serious about everything I'm saying, by the way. Okay, so who's next then?
Yes, the next is the Palm Rose. Her date of birth is January 5th.
Wait a second. Her name is what?
Palm Rose.
P-O-M?
P-A-M. Rose, R-O-S-E. January 5th.
I'm having, hang on a sec.
Sure.
I'm having my own spelling. January 5th, when, dear?
1965.
Oh, that was an interesting year. What time?
22:57. It's Canada. City is O-T-T-A-W-A.
City is what?
O-T-T-A-W-A.
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
The capital of Canada. Oh, there you are, Camrose. I like the spelling, but I'd give you Palm rules. What I've got for you.
Thank you.
You have Mars in the first house too. So now, do you mind if I are you a student of astrology? Dear?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you might go.
studying. Yes, I am.
Well, duh, that's why I'm here. So I'm just going to show, if I can talk out loud and just kind of walk you through the process, at least to looking at your chart on the surface.
Sure, go ahead.
If you were a new client of mine, I would look at this and this is just what I'm going to do. Oh, Virgo rising. Okay. Mars in the first house. I like that idea. I'll set that aside. Mercury, Venus, and K2. Well, there's K2 again with Mercury. That's the classic indicator of a Jyotishi, quite frankly. Sun in the 4th house, Moon in Scorpio, in the Capricorn, Saturn in the 6th house, Jupiter in the 8th, Pluto and Well, okay, so I know I didn't give you much information there. So you're interested in the performing arts too, the arts or the performing arts. Somehow you're an actress and a dancer or the equivalent of that. You could be, because you have your chart lord in the 3rd house of the performing arts. It's pretty simple. Are you a musician?
No, I do sing in a rock choir, and I love the performing arts and I love dance. I don't do a lot of it now, but
okay, you can. I think that's important to you. You might say I have
super important.
Okay, yeah. So I'm here to say, look, this is legitimate. This is like one of the first things that I look at is this is legitimate for you. If you can spend some time somehow, somewhere to do what you love, music, dancing, voice, whatever that we're just discussing, that really adds to the subjective quality of your life and the objective quality of your life too. I'm not saying quit your day job and just, dance to videos all day, but on the other hand, why not? So you're also the domestic goddess. You've got the sun in the 4th house. So let's see. 10th house Lord is Mercury. Well, gosh, you could actually make a career in the performing arts somehow, or something creative would be very important to you. So, are you a teacher?
Or
Or were you?
I don't teach. I don't teach as a career.
All right. Oh, well, is it your
But I
nature?
kind of teach. It's my nature to
There you go.
teach. Yeah.
Yeah, to be your nature is, well, ideally you would your nature could also segue into whatever else you want to do in that big wide world. Well, so you got a nice moon in the 5th house. That's nice. What let's see, what are we going with? I would spend some time looking at, do you know about your nakshatra, Dhanishta?
I read about her.
Oh,
but
about her. Dhanishta is a her. I like that. Okay. Well, you know you can win your own wealth, right? You got it in you. Are you a speculator? You have the moon in the 5th house.
Sometimes.
Well, that's something you could possibly turn to your advantage. The moon is the 11th house Lord. Now I know there'll be controversy about this. You know, there's few simple words in Jyotish, but one of them is, I mean, simple ideas in Jyotish, but one of them is any planet that's in the 11th house is a good thing. However, the 11th house Lord is questionable in certain ways. So I'm making the point that you could make money as a speculator, perhaps, simply because the moon is the Lord of the 11th house and it's in the 5th. Of speculation and gains through creativity and gains from being a consultant. Would you call yourself a consultant?
In some ways, I have this idea that I can be a consultant. Sometimes I feel that I have to go to school a lot to feel like I can play in that world.
Well, maybe not. Okay, so you know there's a house of academic degrees in these charts. Isn't that great?
Yes.
As the 4th house. So if the sun in the 4th house, the 4th house Lord is retrograde in the 8th. I don't know about that, dear. Excuse me. So, but you already have a normal degree, all right, or an advanced degree in something. You have an undergraduate degree in some formal course of studies.
I have a lot of certificates, and I've done I do higher education. I don't necessarily finish anything where I have a higher degree. Like I take master's degree courses and classes, but I don't have anything that says I have a undergraduate degree.
Okay,
or
dear, dear, you do not need to apologize for any of that.
No,
or
I'm
justify any of that, because
that's how I play.
That's perfect for your chart, because you have the Lord of the 4th house, academic degrees, retrograde, which is, that's not necessarily helpful, in the 8th house. So there has to be some kind of drama, trauma, intensity, some kind of an anomaly associated with that. So that for you is perfect. What I think this could actually say is that your autodidactic moves toward getting your own education probably serve you better than anything else you could have got in another setting at that time anyway. Period. Now, new paragraph associated with that, dear. Please do not let that get in your way, that concept get in your way in terms of you being useful to the world as a consultant of whatever sort.
Yes.
I think so. Because you have the moon in the 5th house. That's what that's associated with. Yes, you were born 2.5 days after the new moon. Okay. Your moon could use a little bolstering somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wear a nice strand of white pearls by any chance?
I have a few pairs that I look at. They're in a box.
Well, okay. You know about the concept of remedial things through gemstones.
Yeah.
Okay, you could vaguely, you could strengthen your moon to some degree by wearing pearls. I'm wearing rubies today because it's Sunday, but they these are subtle changes, but I think your moon would appreciate that.
Okay.
So, and you wear them under your clothes if you don't want to seem pretentious by wearing pearls. You have a bird tweeting in the background?
Yes,
Isn't that wonderful?
there's two of them talking.
You have birds. I'm sure that's some kind of nimitta. I don't know much about the meaning of birds.
Indoors and outdoors. I like them.
Where are you, by the way?
I am in Northampton, Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts. How wonderful is that? Well, all right, dear. So I'm not sure how helpful that little exposition was, but did you actually have a question that you'd like me to attempt to address?
Well, there seems to be a theme around career. So the past year, I haven't done anything as far as the career I was working in. So I haven't been paid financially or anything. And so I'm cool with that. I just don't know what's next. And I'm coming into my Mercury Mahadash next year, I believe, as well.
Yes, you are. That'll be an improvement, as I said earlier.
Yeah, and I tend to feel, and I've noticed just by looking at when I had the changes, I tend to start feeling the changes. I'm kind of a little intuitive, so I feel the changes, and they start showing up in my world ahead of time. And I feel a little early. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you mean like you feel like you've already perhaps entered your Mercury Mahadasha? Is that what you were talking about?
No, I feel like if
Oh.
I was going to describe something like I'm in a Gandanta or something like where I am just like, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's
where-
from something else, dear.
Okay, so that's where I'm in this place of unknowing.
Well, that sounds romantic and full of possibilities.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
serious. I am serious when I say
know.
things like that. You get me now. I'm serious about that.
I do. I believe you.
Watch your thoughts. But of course, obviously, you'll say you are right in the middle of your study sati. So do you know about that concept?
Yes.
Okay, so Saturn's on your moon. Well, all right. But you were born with the moon in a Saturn ruled sign. Again, you have Saturn-based traits that you say that you're not going to collapse under the weight of feeling isolated or feeling that your needs are not being met or feeling that, something about, I don't know, regretting the past or, God knows how many things Saturn can dredge up when it crosses over your moon. So the moon is the lord of your 11th house. I don't know. Even in spite of COVID, here's another thing. This is like, yes, having your Sati Sati is a bit like COVID, right? So even if there hadn't been COVID, this would be the perfect time for you to, retreat, withdraw, lick your wounds, regroup, resolve issues from your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what a broad idea, but literally this is the timing factor that gives you permission in a certain way to focus on this, or there's some level of urgency to work this out, resolve things, forgive people, do whatever you need to do for resolution. Resolution is possible. That's the point of the sufferings somehow attendant upon this Saturn on your moon. And let's see, you're born in 1965. You look so young. And then, a couple of years down the road, you'll have your Saturn return. That resolves a lot of issues too. But, again, as in Mikhail's instance, you're about to enter the Mahadasha of your chart lord.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. I mean, you'll love it. This is really usually very stimulating for the study of Jyotish. I mean, it's already in your chart.
Yeah.
I think you could be a good Jyotishi too. You could. I get that because of K2 conjunct your chart lord, which also happens to be Mercury, which is in the 3rd house of communication and ideas and thoughts and going and seeing and doing and connecting.
When the laundry's done. Sorry
That's
about
good
that. I
news.
think
That was a good nimitta. The laundry's done. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to get our clues from however we can.
Yeah. So we also have a next volunteers. Do you want to look into that, Charlotte? We can-
Yes. Okay, Pamela.
So the next one.
You rock on.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Thank you, Pam. Thanks for
Thank
volunteering.
you.
You are so.
So
welcome.
we have March 8th, 1994.
Wait.
Okay. His name is Vince, if you are at the name.
March 8th, 1984,
1994.
94. Well,
Yes.
just give me the time. Just
Yes, 6:23 a.m.
okay.
And its city is HA.
Wait a second. Is this in the U.S.?
No, it's in the Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay. Well, let's do that first. So I don't
Sure.
confuse my. Not Nepal.
No, Netherlands.
Just
Yes,
kidding.
there you go.
Okay.
And it will be HATTEM. Will be city. Yes, that's right.
Hatem, not Harlem.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And I didn't get. Is this Vince? Hi, Vince.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Vince.
Yes.
Hi, madam.
Is Vince?
Yes.
Vince. Yeah, or Vincent actually my full name, but yeah, Vince. You can call me Vince.
Thank you. I feel privileged. You can call me Charlotte.
All right. Hi, Charlotte.
Yes. Now, do you have a question for me, or what may I do for you?
Well, I have Jupiter going over my ascendant, and I'm also going through Sati right now. I actually want to start my own business. I'm not sure if I should start it with Jupiter while it's still on my ascendant for like 10 days now, or no, 6 days. Or if I should start it when it's hitting my second house, or maybe when it's conjunct my 11th lord, Mars. Or what would you say?
I think there's still a little bit of work to be done on your part, either conceptually or in terms of partnerships or legalities or documents or promises or something. Until Jupiter, excuse me, gets firmly into Aquarius. Now, there's a real bright spot there where Jupiter's going to be approaching your Mars. I think it's better to wait until maybe get past this eclipse cycle. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was also thinking about that because we got these major soundies with the Sun and Jupiter and everything. It's but yeah, I get all these kinds of opportunities right now with Jupiter in my ascendant. So I kind of want to act upon those, but with the soundies coming up, with the eclipses and everything, I think it's not the right time to start it. So I was just going to ask you, and thank you for your answer.
Well, yes, I mean, God bless you, dear. There's so many other things that I could look at here, but I do want to offer this too. And I'm just doing this from memory, but excuse me. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. I had to clear my throat and talk to my Ganesh. I have Ganesh in the rocking chair. He's reading a book. I got him at the Hindu temple on Kauai. So here's what I wanted to say is, although you can't see this and you might not normally consider this, Benson, you have the planet Pluto is going to be right on top of your Uranus. Now, I hope that doesn't sound too weird, but here's Uranus in your chart over here. You're born with Uranus in the first house, conjunct the moon and Mercury. This is very interesting. You got a lot going on here. So, but Saturn is hovering near this whole cluster of planets that you have. It has been there for a year and a half or so, or however long it's been there. So this says that you can't cut corners with this aspect here. I mean, I say that with all due respect. Saturn wants real integrity and attention to detail and thinking on the long plan, and making sure that the time is right. Saturn's the planet of time, one of the planets of time. So Pluto's going over your Uranus, Saturn's past your moon, yay. Saturn's coming up to your Mercury. Now that could be that's an interesting combination for you. So you know that Mercury is your 9th house lord, right? You're a student of astrology, I take it.
Yes.
And probably very talented at that too. So you have the
I hope
ninth
so.
house. Yes, it appears so. I'll tell you the reason for that in a moment, but you have the ninth house lord in the first house. So this says that your natural instinct is to go through truth and dharma and noble thoughts, or ninth house activities, and respect for the ancestors. Maybe that's a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's there, but it's there with a twist. This tends to bring good fortune into your life, whether it's whether you deserve it or not. In America, we could call that dumb luck, but I say that with all due respect. Hey, if you've got the Lord of the House of Fortune in your first house, good. This says also that it's incumbent upon you to create a fortune around you. You can, you have the ability to create ojas and sattva in your environment, peace, harmony, creativity, right?
Yes, that's correct.
But are you also quite a competitive person?
I'm competitive with myself. I'm perfectionist to the bone. So
That's the issue there. The sixth house lord is also there. Now, you're still young, but let me tell you from the vantage point of age and experience that on this planet, there is no such thing as perfection. There, newsflash. But now he did not say slack off either, but don't torture yourself with details. If they're important details, yes. And are you doing your spiritual practice, dear?
I try to do it every day, but some days I don't get to it, but yeah, I try it, yeah.
Okay, well, even when you can't, if you're on a plane or whatever you kids do these days, even if you could be very diligent about your practice of pranayama, Vincent, you have a moon very close to Uranus. Uranus is one of the planets of prana, if we can define that as some kind of energy running through your system, like being, a little bit of coffee goes a long ways with you, I would think.
Yeah.
Or, aren't you pretty high strung? You don't mind me using that term?
I would say so, yeah. Sometimes I feel very energetic, yeah. Or like, what's it called? Like nervous system overload, maybe, or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Like on the edge of leaving your body, but like still remaining in the body, kind of thing.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Oh, that. Yes, I can see that in your chart, dear. I'm just saying. Here, let me make my point. Here is the planet Uranus. I'm putting my cursor over to the left-hand vertical column, the second box from the bottom, in case you can't see that. I don't know what you can see.
I can see your cursor.
Here is Uranus at 1 degree of Capricorn. Here's your moon at 6 degrees of Capricorn. It doesn't even matter what sign this is in. If you've got moon conjunct Uranus, remember to do your pranayama. Do it twice as long as you think you need to. Do yoga consistently. Because your nervous system, you were set up. You are just you're very much an antenna for etheric vibrations and the
absolutely.
Yeah. So real discrimination about what you allow around you. Yeah, EMFs are not your friends.
Okay.
Yes. What was the question?
What do you think about Rahu conjunct Pluto? What's that? What's that about?
Oh, that is pretty obscure, dear. With all due respect, you were. That for me implies something larger, socioeconomically or culturally that was going on when you were born. You were born in a very interesting time, dear, the early 1990s. There was some really good things going on, like what? I don't know, that was after the fall of the Berlin Wall, but not Arab Spring, but whatever happened in Czechoslovakia. But okay, for you, what's the meaning of that? I don't know. I couldn't comment on that. It falls in your 11th house. That particular combination, which said, those two planets, they do strengthen themselves to the degree that they kind of like, with all due respect, they kind of like bring out the worst in each other. Rahu is Rahu for a reason. Nobody said Rahu was George Clooney, for instance. Or, let's see, maybe it could be. Pluto is can be really heavy-handed. and Pluto's the lord of the underworld. You already know this, Vincent?
Yeah, I know a little bit about Pluto. Yeah.
You know about the outer planets? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Only about Pluto. I think Uranus and the other one, Neptune, are a little bit vague to me still. But yeah, I studied Pluto a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so it falls in your house of your associations. So pick your friends wisely, dear. And you also, this suggests that you get a lot, you could do a lot of good for the world in general if when you insert yourself into a group of friendly strangers with a common cause, civic, social, community, or political in some way. Although that could also be very complicated for you. It doesn't mean don't do it, but you know, you have to keep your wits about you wherever Pluto is, because Pluto says there's an obsession or a compulsion towards something for good or for ill. So
Okay.
choose your friends wisely, as I'm sure your grandfather told you long ago. I mean, I'm serious about that.
I didn't know my grandfathers, but they died prematurely or before I could actually know them. But yeah, I know where you're coming from. It's true. I've met a lot of, you know, baddies in the past. So I truly pick and choose my friends very wisely. And it's also true that I think I have the power to do a lot of good with this energy as well for the community,
yes,
for the greater good.
That is my point. There's always where you put your consciousness. I mean, what you really, seriously. I mean, that's my message to everybody. That, you know, there's plenty of complications. They will show up. We don't have to encourage their bad behavior, and bad planetary behavior. But you know, you've got Jupiter. Yes. So, what kind of project are you thinking of? If that's not imposing on your intellectual property?
Well, yeah, how should I say it? I'm investing in cryptocurrencies, and I'm trying to help the group of Jyotishis who are all. I'm in a group with Simon and with Nadja and a whole group, and I'm building a complete sheet with all kinds of different information that's very relevant to the prediction of cryptocurrencies. And I also like to give people astrology readings like you are doing professionally, because people ask me about it.
Okay, you can do it. As I said, start slow. We have to start someplace. This is a lifelong process of, you know, being the interface for Jyotish, for the Jyotir Vidya. You're doing something serious here. You can do it, Vincent, is what I'm saying. Right. I don't mean to scare you. But again, you're going, Jupiter will enter your second house of, again, the equivalent of movable assets. If cryptocurrency is a movable asset, I think that could work for you. But that's a slippery slope too. You know, Jupiter's your 12th house lord. You're going to have to develop yourself. You know, you're going to have to point your third eye in that direction intentionally. Do your spiritual practice.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You get a free sermon as well.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
There is a comment, Charlotte, from Nadia saying that he has a parivartan between 3rd house and 10th house. He should be performing for a living, even if it's not artistic, but teaching spiritual wisdom.
I love it. That's a good, well, but brilliant, darling Nadia. Yes. This man's 10th house lord is exalted in the 3rd house of the performing arts. Yeah, baby, in a Parivartana with Jupiter. I did, you know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even look at this. But in terms of wealth, okay, you know Jupiter's the planet of wealth. Your career could be associated with that. I mean, with real wealth. Jupiter's the planet of real wealth. We have to figure out what real wealth means. I don't know. I know nothing about cryptocurrency, but best of luck to you and Nadia and Simon and your whole cohort of young astrologers. I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to meet all of you guys, but you know, you have my blessing. Good luck to you. Thank you for letting me look at your chart.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadja.
So, anything else?
Yeah.
No, I think everything was answered.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
But go on to the next person, please.
Oh, no,
Thank you.
I was actually talking to Meenakshi. I guess I should have made that clear.
All right.
Not a problem. So Charlotte, we are at 3:45. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much 90 minutes over. So we do have volunteers here. So do you want to go next, or we should close the session?
Geez.
We do have 3 volunteers rather. Scott has a question. Ekaterina, she has gave, and Ramesh.
Okay. All right. But you know, my instinct toward 90 minutes is so clear. I didn't even look at my clock, but I could feel that I have been talking about astrology for 90 minutes. Well, I'm on the dot. Well, okay. So who's next? We'll do them.
Okay.
And then a brief
Okay, so
into
the next is Ekaterina. Her date of birth is December 1st, 1973. 11:24 a.m. Her country is different from US, so it will be BUL, Bulgaria, GARI, yes, and this is BURGAS.
Okay.
Here, I will add a pin.
And so
There
this
she
is
is.
There's a Katerina. Hello, dear. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Okay, so Capricorn rising. So you're in Saudi City too. You got
Yes,
Jupiter.
the third person, yeah, for tonight.
Yes, what a coincidence. But Jupiter in the first house, even though it's debilitated, I don't care. How can we fix that debilitation? Well, we'll think about that later. Venus, you have Venus and Jupiter together in the first house. Congratulations, Ekaterina. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's work. You can work with that. Plus the moon. Oh, Mars and you've got that nice Rushtaka yoga. Mars in its own sign. And good for you. Look at the strength of the Shadbal of your Mars. Oh Lord. Good. Okay, good. We know we're in good hands with you. Saturn retrograde in the 6th house. Never mind about that. Pluto in the 9th. Mercury in the 10th house, conjunct Uranus. Oh, I see you're a famous, successful Jyotishi as well, right?
Yeah, I've been learning Jyotish for quite a long time. Yes.
Good for you. Okay, so do you use the outer planets, dear?
Yeah, actually, I started with Western astrology, and then I used the outer planets. But then in Jyotish, I do not. But still, I am, yes, quite familiar with them. Yes.
Well, you might want to take a look at again, like this Uranus in your 10th house. I mean, you've got Mercury there, which just on its own makes you could be a good Jyotishi. One moment, please. But then you add the meaning of Uranus. Uranus is one of the planets of astrology. Because the planet Uranus rules anything that flies through the air. Isn't that a fun idea? Anything that flies through the air. Thoughts, electricity, planets, things like that. So do you have a question, dear? I have to abbreviate this, but.
Yeah, actually, because of I'm in a Sutton Mahadasha, and obviously Sutton is transiting all these planets in the first house and Sadhisati, and yeah, I was thinking more about this effect of Sutton on all these planets. Yes, because yeah.
Dear, you just have to keep doing what you already know to do. See the job, do the job, stay out of the misery. You're Capricorn rising, you're good at that. You have something to contribute, you're still contributing it. You're in the major period of your first house Lord. Again, like the last 3 people. Whatever it is that you're thinking you can do is only impeded by your retrograde Saturn. So your chart Lord is retrograde, conjunct Ketu, for God's sake. All right, well, let me think about this. Is your health okay?
For the time being, yes. for the time
Okay.
being.
Let's just go with that. I mean, it looks to me like you have your chart lord in the 6th house. This means that typically you would be very interested in health and wellness and nutrition.
Yes, yes.
And very, very. Are you oriented to becoming a medical astrologer, maybe?
No. Actually, I've been studying Ayurveda and all these things, but so maybe when I consult
medicine.
logically, I could get some advice. Yeah, Ayurvedic advice. Yes, I could do that.
You could. Okay, so just using the most simple essential issues, you have your chart lord, which is Saturn in the 6th house of healing and therapy, and certainly Ayurveda fits in there. I mean, that's just an idea, but I'm trying to figure out, your question is, well, let's see. But look, you're in, okay, so let's forget about Mahadashas for a moment. I mean, this is information for everybody. I think that we have to really focus on the sub period, which for you, dear, look, you are in the sub period, I mean, in Vimshotri, and I don't know what the other logistics are. You are in the experience period of your Venus, the very best planet in your chart right now, this very moment, right?
Yes, the Yoga Karaka for the chart, yes.
Well, okay, Venus is your 5th house lord and your 10th house lord. So yes, Yoga Karaka for your chart, yes. Now I want you to get your mind straight, dear. Focus on the benefits that you're going to be able to identify and implement during this fabulous bhukti of Venus until 2023. Come on, you can do this. This is your 10th house lord, your 5th house lord. You've got it in the 1st house. I don't know what you're capable of, but you're capable of it in this period. Now, is that too broad, or is that too aspirate? Does that make any sense to you, dear?
Yes, of course it makes. Venus Sabdasha didn't, so far it didn't turn out to be very successful, but it is for the whole world. So maybe, yeah, at the end of the Venus period, things will get better. Yeah.
Things will get that way because you're going to focus on the benefits that are being offered to you somehow. I insert that idea somehow. I don't know what that is, but I think anybody on this panel would agree that you're in the experience period of your Yoga Karaka, and there are advantages to you here.
Charlotte G.
Yeah.
Nadia is actually pointing out to her Pluto. No, what was that? Pluto transiting her Venus.
Yes, that too. Yes, that other young man, Vincent, had planets in exactly the same place. Thank you, Nadia, darling. Well, yes. So transiting Pluto, and you want to study, you want to revive your knowledge of the meaning of Pluto, Ekaterina, from your previous studies, and oh yes, okay. So that definitely is an interesting. Wow, you're going to be a good case study at the end of this, dear, because. Okay, yes, you're in the bhukti of Venus, yay. However, your natal Venus is being visited by Pluto. You are going to have to remain absolutely pure in thought, word, and deed. There, I'm just putting that out there. This is what Pluto requires. That's the only way to cultivate the level of detachment or neutrality. Pluto can be very passionate, as you know. So also, keep your wits about you here, dear. Don't be dabbling in the dark arts or staying up past your bedtime too often. I'm saying that to entertain you. I hope it did. I mean, we're talking about Pluto, really, aren't we? And but this could also say you could align yourself with a very powerful partner. Maybe not a romantic partner, a business partner, a transactional business partner, an associate, a collaborator, a teammate. You get the basic idea because of the generic qualities of Venus. So Katerina, I think somebody's kicking me under the desk to move on. But I send you off with my best wishes and hope that was generally useful.
Yes, thank you very much, Harold and Meenakshi and all of you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. I think we will not torture you anymore. It's getting 4 o'clock.
Well, that is up to you. The last person that has been waiting to talk to me. I don't want to disappoint them.
Okay, if that's so,
Well,
I actually have two person. So Scott has a very quick question, and there is one person, Ramesh. So Ramesh, are you still here? And Scott, can you just ask your question?
Well, basically, it was just advice about entering Sati, right? I mean, I am reading The Greatness of Saturn right now, but you can read, we can discuss that another time. You can help the volunteers.
Yes.
Okay.
But Scott, are you coming to Sedona next week?
No, probably not. Sadly, maybe next year. The whole pandemic.
I was thinking we could chat then, but okay. Well, you know where to reach me. Let's be in touch.
All right, that sounds great.
Okay, so who's this next person?
Next is Ramesh. He is September 6, 1973, 1752, India, Andhra Pradesh state. India, Andhra Pradesh. Yeah, Ramesh.
Place of birth is Punuru.
Yeah, Punuru.
Yeah.
Ponnuru. Ponnuru. Lovely. And I think that should be good. Yep.
Oh,
so Ramesh, can you switch on your video, please? Yep. We can't see you, Ramesh, though.
There you are. It's dark. It's dark where you are, huh? Are the kids asleep? Let's see. All right. Well, Aquarius rising. Fine. Chart lord's in the 5th. Oh, that's nice. With Rahu. Okay. Mars in the 3rd. Sun, Mercury in the 7th. I see. Well, so you're also a very accomplished Jyotishi yourself, correct, sir?
Yes.
Ah, well, nice. You're a great metaphysician. I'll give you that. And you really love people as a concept, at least. Well, and do you live abroad? Ramesh, something happened to you. You're all speckles.
Okay.
We didn't need to...
I logged in on a different device. Can you able to see me now?
No, unless you've changed greatly. No, you're a screen with speckles on it, or maybe that's my screen. Oh no, it's you. There you are.
Okay.
I don't want to invade your privacy.
No.
So, are you living in a place far from your birthplace?
Yes.
Okay, just checking, because you have the sun in the 7th house, obviously. So, well, okay, so you're so patient. Thank you for your patience. What may I offer?
Yeah, basically, I have a dispute going on with US government, and they are holding my passport. So just I'm looking when I can get it.
Well, okay, so Saturn's crossing over your Jupiter. That could be complex. 9th house Lord Venus in the 8th house. Okay, we'll just file that away. Well, when after Jupiter gets into your ascendant here, you'll be free.
Okay.
But, or this also says you're in a position to put some leverage through your attorney or whoever else is helping you. Or that person will be, again, the legal ramifications will be much easier for you. Much easier for you fairly soon. So let's see about Mars. All those planets are in your transit through your 9th house. Jupiter, let's see. You're in Jupiter, until second house. Hang on a sec. So, What about Mars getting into your 10th house? So when you get your passport back, are you going to travel then? Are you going to return home, or I'm trying
No,
to figure.
no. I am waiting to travel to India, but first I am just waiting for the passport. I want to know when this dispute will be settled.
Well, so Mars. I'm doing this from memory, but doesn't Mars? Okay, I think that there's a little boost for you, Ramesh, when Mars enters your 10th house. I think Mars enters Scorpio on December 3rd this year, right? And is there until mid-January. Is it likely that there could be some progress along those lines, but in that shortest space of time?
Not really, because government is very stubborn. They are not responding.
Okay, all right. So let me justify what I just said to you. So Ramesh, here's what I'm offering. You know that transiting Mars will be very powerful in Scorpio, entering your 10th house of your status. Let's consider the perhaps legal status. It will at the same time be aspecting your 4th house in terms of, I don't know, like returning home or travel or security or something like that. So it's only Mars, and it's only like a 6 or 7 week period. But within that period, you yourself can influence the outcome by intentionally taking some kind of action that will imply that you have your passport back and there's some kind of resolution. You're using this, whether the you're making causes for a positive effect. That's the short version. Well, Mars is in Scorpio in your 10th house. I mean, it could be that there's at least a step in the right direction. Some kind of a deposition or a filing or who knows what. But your 9th house Lord, and then your son of government. You're going to have to figure out how to just become neutral to these people. Again, you know that the sun is one of the planets of government. It's in your chart, it's in your 7th house. Well, so that's either the house of opposition or collaboration. I don't know. How can you be useful to the people that are trying to prosecute you? It's just an idea, right? Because of what I just said. So Mercury is conjunct your sun, 5th house Lord, 8th house Lord. Well, let's see. 5th house Lord, good. 8th house Lord, not so much. I think that the Jupiter, in the period, the Jupiter's in your 1st house, between the 3rd week in November and the 3rd week in April of next year. That is prime time for you to be able to further your cause. I don't care what is standard. You have to use your metaphysical abilities, right, Ramesh?
Okay.
Well, I mean, visualize this happening. Visualize this happening. Don't let your own worried thoughts get in your own way, right? You have a Sun Mercury conjunction. Yeah, you're a smart guy, but don't overthink this. Your intention is to have your passport returned. No questions asked and move forward, right?
Okay.
You haven't given your power away to the U.S. government, I hope.
No.
Okay. All right. Now, does this seem too lighthearted, or are you okay with my language?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm taking your case seriously. Saturn will, for a moment, get out off of your Sadhisati when it enters Aquarius at the end of the 1st quarter next year. That'll also be extremely helpful.
Okay.
Because Moon being your 6th house Lord of people that oppose your will or your enemies, or is there a lawsuit going on? Obviously. So this is the 6th house Lord is the tendency to be charged in lawsuits. Saturn dips into Aquarius. That's also very useful for you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. But I want to, if you have a time, I want to share some of my past, what happened.
Well, I don't know about that, darling. But for the sake of the recording, you may not want to be that candid on the record. I would feel better about it if you didn't do that.
No, I am going to tell very generic things.
Well, I'm not sure we actually have the time for that, Ramesh. What do you think? I mean, I am at the disposal of my host, and we've already gone 20 minutes over. So maybe not this time, but you know how to find me. If I mean, honestly, let me know how I can further help, sir, as a colleague. But in terms of our IT staff here, these darling angels, the little devas here that are keeping us plugged in, I think we have to respect their time and their children's dinner hour.
Sure.
Are you okay? Are you okay with that, Ramesh? Are we still friends? Please don't be mad at me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Think about what we discussed. Okay.
Namaste.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you for so much of high energy and a rapid fire consultation. Oh my God, it was so interesting to look through and so many predictions. Wow.
Well,
overwhelming.
We'll see. Who else but Brahma knows about these things? So, but anyway, no, I'm happy to help out. You're just, I mean, God bless you, dear. I'm sending both you and Ronnie G plenty of good mojo for you being able to keep this together. Wow, what
I didn't do anything, Charlotte. It's all Meenakshi.
Yes,
but
well, I know.
Charlotte G, you're so amazing, so witty, and so inspiring, so on your feet and mental feet and psychic feet. The insights are so superb. It's fantastic. Really love your energy and everything. Thank you so much.
Well, God bless you. Thank you for saying so. That you know that really feeds my soul. You know, because we dedicate ourselves to Jyotish, and you know, it's a kind of a sacrifice.
Very selfless. Right? Yeah, what you're doing is so selfless. Thank you so much.
But you got to do the mantras, which are also very, very the most important thing, right? So, okay, dear. Well, everybody, thank you for your investment of your time in me, and I hope if you weren't if you didn't gain any knowledge, at least you were entertained. So
lovely. Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. So, Rani ji, just do the closing mantra so that we can let Charlotte go and relax.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Thank you.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you. That's frosting on the cupcake. So, well, bye everybody. Thank you for, Meenakshi, thank you for what you do and the entire team. And I'm honored to be included in your team. So thank you again.
Great. Thank you. It's such a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Likewise. Okay. Bye. Bye, Jitendra ji. Oh, I guess you're doing.